Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. And in today's video, I'm doing a brief video review and install of the FretNation 6-position selector switch here on my combustion model 6-string. The 6-position selector switch is right here, and it also comes with the instructions on how to install it. It does require some basic soldering skills here. I've already taped off the finish area of where this needs to go so I don't damage anything. And for what it is, it's actually pretty straightforward if you're familiar with soldering. I am going to only go step by step on the progress of this because there is a lot of wires going on here. The instructions are more than helpful. I just don't see too many YouTube videos about this particular modification that I wanted to at least put up there. And for those that are wary of doing this kind of modification, yeah, it may look like a lot of wires, but the diagram is very straightforward. They actually color code everything. You got a blue, a red, a silver, and a black. It just makes things very, very easy to follow. You just take your time. And the good thing is that you can always put the original 4-position selector switch back in there if you wanted to. So one of the first steps that you have to do in the instructions is that there's 3 black ground wires here on the 4-position selector switch. You want to desolder those. I elected to leave this one short one on the 4-position selector switch because in case I wanted to put it back in at a later date. Those 3 black ground wires went to the body of the volume pot. I'll see if I could try to not focus on this here. There we go. So that's where they were soldered to. And then the white wire that is over right here went to this part of the volume pot here. So you want to take those 2 wires off. Now, the 6-position selector is installed temporarily so you can see the orientation. You have a black, you have a blue, you have a red, and then you have a, well, can't really see it too well. It's right there. That's the silver lug. And following the diagram there, that's where you're going to be hooking up the wires that are on this terminal strip here. I'll show that here in the next segment. But the first major step is to get this prepared to go and install into the cavity. The 6-position selector switch is going to have 2 wires coming off of it, a black and a white. The white wire is going to connect to the volume pot connector right here. And then the black wire is going to go to the body of the volume pot. Here's some of the documentation that FretNation gives you, and really is informative. It makes it almost idiot-proof here. Unfortunately, I ran into a problem. I didn't follow the instructions exactly, and that's my fault. But here is what I did wrong and how you can avoid it. Everything that you need is in these documents. I really just follow this diagram because you can see the positive, negative for the bridge, middle, and the neck, where it's supposed to go. You can see exactly where it needs to go on here. That just makes things so much easier. But the issue that I ran into was I did not move the shield ground wires. The shield ground wires are discussed a little bit more in this document. It's got very clear pictures, and the 3 black wires coming off of the 4-position selector need to be relocated from the 4-position over to the back of the volume pot here. That's what this document discusses. And what I noticed was when I put the 6-position selector in, the wires coming off the original 4-position, the shield wires here in this picture are tied to the negative lead of those pickups. That's okay. That's what it's supposed to be in the OEM wiring. But when we install the 6-position, you actually need to separate that shield wire from the negative lead of the pickup. And those shield wires need to be all connected together at one point to the ground wire or the black wire of the 6-position selector. And when you do that, it prevents any kind of noise coming through. Now, when you touch the strings, your body becomes grounded through the bridge, through the strings, and you become part of the shield, and it will get rid of any noise there. There's copper paint inside the cavity, and that's what keeps the outside interference from making the bass buzz, basically. If you don't separate those shield wires from the negative lead of those pickups, and you just connect it to the lugs that are on the outside here, where the signal wire is supposed to go, the negative signal wire, you're going to get a ton of noise when you're not touching the strings. Now, when you separate them, you will get ever so slightly a tiny bit of noise, but when you touch the strings, because your body becomes part of the shield, then the bass is dead quiet. I did not do that, and here you can see in the pictures, I didn't do it exactly the way the instructions should have, so follow the instructions. That's my main point. The instructions are there for a reason, and it was a learning curve for me. Stupid me, I should have looked at it and realized what I was doing wrong, but Jason and the team took maybe 5-10 minutes after looking at these pictures and said, that's where the problem, just fix this and do that, and that should fix your problem, and sure enough it did. Alright guys, well I'm going to end the video here. I will be doing future videos on the Combustion 6 for audio samples and whatnot, but right now my little guy is right here, and I don't want to blow his eardrums out. I'm just going to go and pet him and enjoy the rest of my day here. Thank you guys so much again for watching and supporting the channel. If there's anything else or any questions, please let me know, and I'll see you guys on the next little project.